patronite.pl/telewizornia. Zostań naszym patronem już dziś.
So, welcome to TeleVizornia channel. We are at Progresja with a great special guest, Venom Inc.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Welcome to Venom Inc.
Yeah. The tour is called Beyond the Black.
Beyond the Black.
Yeah. So, tell me why you decide to play with hate?
Because there was only 4 of us, and we thought we should. That's my banana.
Yeah.
No, because they're an amazing band.
Yeah.
You know, when we had the album "There's Only Black," and it's about a question of like, what happens when we die? What happens at the end of the universe? All those questions we just don't know, that we search for in our lives, and so it was what happens after that. Beyond the Black.
Yeah.
Beyond the Black. And then we had to look at the bands that we wanted to play with, and we played several shows, Mexico and a lot of places with hate, and they wanted we should do it together,
Yeah.
And we kept talking about it, and then there was an opportunity we could do it. And of course, here we are in Progresja, they're Polish, they're amazing, and we love the people, but also their music. So we get a chance to do that with them. And Christian from Brazil, Ita from Chile, and here we are in Poland. And Curran is an American. We're English. And it's like, when they talk about our community and our music, well, there's the world in one bus in the middle of Poland. I mean, that's amazing. And so that's, all the bands are so superb, and we're from all over the planet. So it shows that this is what we are. We're not underground. They call us underground. We don't hide in a club somewhere. We don't go to a private room somewhere. We're in amongst you. There's nothing underground about it. And it flies a flag for our world, our music. It shows who we are as a community. From Kuala Lumpur to Osaka, from Auckland in New Zealand to Alaska. This is who we are, and we're right there, and so I love all of that. Yeah.
If you want to ask her, she's just there.
I'll ask her later.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I want New Zealand, but I'll ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look what he's done to my banana.
Not yet, anyway. A few more drinks, then we'll see what happens to that.
Yeah, probably.
Have you heard any records of hate before?
No, I refuse to listen to them. It makes me feel a bit nauseous.
It's like a love-hate relationship, isn't it?
Now all of them, and their new record just dropped this week, and Adam and the boys were very excited. The new videos out there, go watch it and get that new album. It's getting 5 stars, 10 stars. It's amazing, yeah. Actually, you haven't heard Hate, I just think, go get the new record, just out now. But yeah, they're amazing. And to watch their performance every night. And what's very funny is that I got up the other morning on the tour bus, and with just Adam, and he was looking at, comments about the new video and stuff. And someone wrote, I think Hate or the Polish answer to Behemoth. And we were both laughing, going, how does this guy not know Behemoth or Polish? But it was wonderful, so now I kind of try and put that in my interviews, going, when people ask me about Hate, what do you think? I said, yeah, they're kind of like Polish Behemoths. So I think that's kind of funny, but yeah, wonderful. Over to you.
Over to me, about what? What kind of question?
Have you heard
the new Hate record?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I was going to say that the night it came out, we were on the tour bus, and the guys in Atur said, we want to hear the new Hate record. I'm like, what new? So we pull up Spotify and we start streaming it, and instantly all the Hate guys got up and left. Because it's like when you hear your voice recorded for the first time. Like, I don't sound like that. So, but it was very funny. And so we sat and we listened to like 4 or 5 songs, and it's so good.
Either that or they just got really shy.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good. It's very, very cool. And I'm not sure, so many different categories of metal nowadays. Like, they have the corpse paint, and they have, the theatricality.
The production is amazing.
Yeah.
But when I listen to them live, when I watch them live, and I try and watch every band like every night a little bit, I don't think that they're just a black metal band.
No.
They feel like
there's more.
They have black metal, but then there's like good death metal and thrash metal and groove and melody and cool solos, and It's a very unique, interesting amalgamation of all these different styles of metal into what Hate does.
Word.
That was very nice. What was that? Magdalena. But I think that's it. That's quite significant, and they portray that when we have genre specifics like death metal, hardcore, black metal, all of that, bands then kind of follow that route. So a black metal band is just black metal. That's what they listen to. But back in the day, bands didn't sound like each other. Like AC/DC does not sound like Judas Priest. Judas Priest didn't sound like Motorhead or Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And so we had that, and it's trying to tell the youth is to hear those influences that you love and try and make something new with them. And I think that's what Hate do very successfully.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I loved all of their music. And with the new album, it's almost like they've apexed on something really tremendous. They've come into their own, and I think it's all the work they've done over the years, because they're a big Polish band. Vader, Behemoth, of course. Wolf Spider were an old friends and a favourite of mine from back in the day. And Cats, of course. I mean, that's the top of the shop for Poland. But yeah, with I think with Hate, they've taken all those influences and all that great showmanship and that production, and they've just kind of made something quite unique with it. And it's amazing. So I recommend finding the new album. It'll blow your mind. If you've never heard them, start there and then work back. Yeah, it's a must. It's a must.
What Polish bands do you like the most? I mean, in metal jam.
Well, not Behemoth, because they're not Polish, are they?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. You told me Vader.
Yeah, Vader. Old friends of mine, Peter, and they worked so hard, and we've toured with them before, of course, and
Hate, of course.
Great band. And Hate, we know, of course, and Cats, I mean, it was unfortunate that we lost him, but the guys in the band are still doing music, and I think that's amazing, and they're good friends of mine. And the Wolf Spider, the first time I ever played with Wolf Spider was 1988. There was still it was still part of Russia then. Polski was still part of the United Federation, and we played in Katowice at Spodek Stadium, and it was before Metal Mania. It was kind of Metal Mania, but it was called the Metal Battle, and it was very young. And we played, they were on the bill there, and we did Welcome to Hell in Potsdam at the end of the tour, and we stayed friends ever since. And so but there's so much Sempra, there's so many young bands. I come every year to do Bloodstock, the Bloodstock UK festival. I come every year, very very kindly being invited to judge the bands.
Oh, you will?
And it's like year 3 I'll be coming back, and I just see the most amazing bands from, and you can see experienced bands, but young people, like with this most amazing stuff. And so Poland is constantly producing incredible musicians and incredible music. We were very fortunate after Romania last season. We got invited to Poland and Rock. Sick of it all cancelled. We were in Romania, and they called us and said, could you guys maybe open Poland and Rock for us? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So we had no sleep, like a crazy journey. Oh, it was amazing. We literally
tell something more about it.
Yeah, well, we came off stage, and we had to get our gear really quick. Got into a van, drove to an airport, got straight on a flight, got to Warsaw, and then 5 hours, a van was ringing. Drove all the way down to the festival site, put all things in, and they said, right, you have to go on in 30 minutes. And then we ran on stage, the pyros went off, and that was it. And it was like 500,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the most amazing
Biggest
event, you know,
festival.
the Woodstock thing, yeah. And you just, it was in the middle of summer, the sun was shining, it was the most perfect time. But everybody was so wonderful to us, so kind to us, and we came away going, wow, and it wasn't planned, it was just because it just happened. It was magical, it was absolutely magical.
To me, it felt like that, you know, that festival for us was meant to be for this lineup, because it was a beautiful moment, because, you know, when we first came on, there was a few thousand people in the you know, audience.
Well, they were just coming in with us, so there was like,
and we kept playing and playing and playing, and the crowd just got bigger and bigger, to the point where you just couldn't see the end of the audience. You know, so it really showed. It kind of, I think it brought us closer together as a band. You know, that festival, I really do, and I think it really helped us kind of forget about, you know, all of the kind of social media stuff that people have been saying about this lineup now, and made people realize that we are actually, you know, a band, and we certainly have a chemistry about us on stage, you know. That shows.
What was nice as well, as you remember, there was like people who were going, I don't listen to heavy metal, but that was great. So they were losing their minds, and it was so wonderful.
Video of yours
a few
days ago before the interview, and it was magical. It was phenomenal. I love you guys.
Of the Poland Rock concert?
Yeah.
It was a video.
Yes, yeah.
It was such an amazing experience, and, you know, to be a last minute addition to a festival like that, to not be on the posters, like the posters for Poland Rock last year, our name is not on there. Even on our backstage access passes, our name is not on there. Yeah. And so to go and then play that show, and before we played, you know, most musicians and bands have little rituals before they start to play, like just kind of, you know, getting in your, you know, your head space and getting ready to perform. And I walked up on Tony, and Tony has this thing he does where he kind of leans up on his amp like this with his head down, and I know he's just kind of getting ready to go. And I walk up, and as I'm walking up, I hear in the crowd, Venom Inc, Venom Inc.
Yeah.
People chanting for a band that nobody knew was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I just walk up to Tony, I'm like, you hear that, right? He's like, I'm like, it's gonna be a great show. and then we went out,
and then the pyro went off.
The pyro went off. I lost 2 inches of beard, and I got caught on fire.
Yeah, we
come back one day.
Oh yeah. I hope so. And the owner was so wonderful. They said you can only play 50 minutes, and then you have to stop because that's the only opening. And we played 50 minutes. I'm looking, going, okay, we finished. We go off, and they say go back on. So we went back on, and they said the owner will come on, and he was, you know, saying happy birthday, you know, the Polish happy birthday, and so we go on and play, and he doesn't come on, so we come off again, and they went go back on. It's like, but I thought we had to go back on, so we go on and play again, and then we came off. I was like, he didn't come on. They went, go back on. So we were like, what? And we ended up, we had 50 minutes to open Poland Rock, and we ended up an hour and a half in. Yeah. And he came on, and he was just big smiles, and I said, thank you so much for this kind gift to invite us here, because it was last minute, and he said to me, nobody has opened Poland and Rock like that. Thank you so much. And that made us feel all the better. We were tired, we were hungry, we hadn't slept, we hadn't washed, we didn't have time to eat, but the magic of the people, just, you can't beat that kind of magic. It was so wonderful, and they were so happy because it was just beginning, and we didn't get to enjoy afterwards, but
even I mean, obviously, you know, all the fans that came for Poland Rock that were there, the 500,000 people, but even all of the stage crew, everybody moving equipment, and like, here, where does this go? And I think
the girls were catering, the security,
everybody was so
every Polish
amazing
person that was there was so
professional,
amazing to us.
friendly, courteous, and so just gracious. And it was, I'm talking about it right now, and I'm getting goosebumps. Like just to remember how kind
and that does
and excited.
not happen everywhere.
No,
of course.
So for us, it was like, wow, this is amazing.
Some places you go and it's like, are you guys go away? Yeah. Do you have to play your stupid concert? But no, the Poland rock, and so like to get to come back now and to play here in Poland again tonight. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to say I'm back again in Poland and I'm playing another concert, and it's going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The really
I have no doubt.
When we actually finished performing, we came off stage and we went to get some food and get changed and all that kind of stuff. And there was one of the members of the crew from that festival came in. This woman, like young lass, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she was like she was the catering girl for like so they
and
have
she
like
was really like kind of like nervous to come into the dressing room and was like, hi, and we were like, oh hi, just come in. And she was like, but that was you on stage, yeah? Yeah.
You were so scary.
You were so scary. Why are you so nice?
Yeah. But wonderful.
But, you know, that's kind of how it is, you know, we're people, we're musicians, when we go on stage, that kind of, it doesn't change, but, you know, we give it everything we've got. Full on, you know. We just want to punch people in the face, not literally, but musically.
In an analog fashion with big loud.
But even at the end, they came in and they printed off. We took a photo with the owner, with the audience, and before we even left, they came and said, "We have a gift for you," and they printed off these posters of us with the whole audience. And I mean, nobody does that. And we were like, "Oh, are these for us?" And they were like, "Yeah, our gift, so you can take away." So even for us, it was a couple of hours. We were in, we played, we left. Had this amazing experience, like in hours. I was like, what was that? It was just the most incredible thing, you know.
It was so bizarre though as well though, because we were so tired, like unbelievably tired.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean, of course we were putting everything into the performance and obviously feeding the energy, you know, from the crowd that were given, you know, that they were giving us. But also it was kind of like, what the hell is going on?
What just happened?
Came off stage and we're just like,
nailed it.
it was such a
wonderful,
an amazing moment.
And you know, you go to many places in the world, and they're places very exciting, lots of different foods and sounds and smells and culture. But there's certain places you go where you feel, oh, I'm home. And Poland's one of those places. Strangely enough, not Polish, you know, but I've traveled many times since the early 80s. I've been coming to Poland. I've seen it change from a very grey, you know, with coupons to get petrol and, you know, restrictions. And then, you know, and then I'm driving down a motorway, which is much better than any road in England. And there's a IKEA and Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it, you know. And I see that, but I see it in the people, you know, because even under the Soviet ruling, Poles were Poles, you know, and to see them then become Poland again and just explode into this magic that is the food and the people and the warmth and the music and the culture. It's like, it's just lifted my heart, and I'm so glad that I was old enough to experience that and experience it now, you know. And I think something like Woodstock or Poland Rock now is the epitome of that. You know, you're just looking at all those amazing Polish people, the food smells everywhere, traditional music here, dance music here, heavy metal there, and you just go, wow, this is Poland, you know, it's wonderful.
That was the amazing thing about that festival, you know, well, one of the amazing things was that, you know, you look into the audience and you see, you know, people who are wearing Venom Inc t-shirts and Venom t-shirts, and then you see people who have flowers in their hair and all peace and all that kind of stuff, and they're loving it. You know?
They were still headbanging and losing their fucking minds.
Maybe come.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah.
And then after we play, the next band comes on, and they're like this, like funk jazz fusion thing.
It's a very
And they had
cool
like
And
a
it's
number one
like-
single in Poland.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a
Like,
very cool
yeah,
band.
that was-
But that's the way it should be. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Yeah, I think that's the way it should be with festivals. You know, like music is something that just brings people together.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that festival in particular really does that.
Yeah.
With the differences in the genres of music, because music is just music. Music can capture any emotion that you go through in life. And so
maybe you don't speak Polish. Maybe you're not Catholic. Maybe you're politically different, or but none of that matters.
Yeah.
Because the music becomes everything. Yeah, unites everybody. You know. And to be in Beijing where you can't ask for a cup of coffee because you can't speak that particular Mandarin, but you can sing Countless Battery and they all sing it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's wonderful about that. That's the magic. That's the magic.
I mean, something as simple as today when we were loading in all of our equipment and everything, and there have been fans like outside the building waiting. Will you please sign? Will you please sign? With like apologizing for their bad English. Well, my Polish sucks.
In Poland.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, don't fucking apologize.
Yeah.
You can't speak English. What's going on?
We should be speaking Polish.
And they hand you a CD and they want you to sign it, and it's just like this beautiful little moment of, we all love this music. We all love what this is. This is so great and so powerful. And the fact that we played Poland rock, and then the fact that our good friends and many members of our crew on this tour are Polish.
Are all Polish.
And so our pre-production, like all of our rehearsals for this tour, we did in Poland.
In Warsaw,
In Warsaw, and we're on tour with an incredible Polish band and all of these amazing, fun, incredible things. And the food.
Oh,
I mean, our front of
I
house.
should ask about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
Well, we got a thing. We had
the weird pickle salad is so
Yeah,
good. Oh my god!
We had tartar, venison tartar, which was incredible. The blue sausage.
and there's something
look
about
at that.
Polish sausages.
Oh, Polish sausages.
Three different
Best in the
kinds.
world.
We've only had 3 different kinds of Polish sausages.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's another 500 versions of Polish
Yeah.
Don't care. The 3 that we had were amazing, but like, just keep bringing the sausage. It's a sausage party.
Our tour manager. Our tour manager in San
You think that'll
Francisco. He
read?
lives just outside Warsaw. He has places outside Warsaw, and because we're doing pre-production there, and one of the things I said, if we're going to Warsaw, he said I might go home when we get to Warsaw just to see the family. I said, you can only go if you bring us back Polish sausage.
Bring back the sausage.
Like we want that sausage we had because they made this barbecue thing and it was just unbelievable. And typical Polish, his wife made like 500 salads and kept bringing food out. We're going, okay, I'll just do it. By the end, we all had bellies like that. We're going, oh my God, you're going to have to stop bringing the food. It was so delicious.
And she would get mad, like in the morning, like normally for me, I don't really eat breakfast, I have coffee, and then about like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I'll be hungry and eat. This was not okay.
No, she was like, are you ready
she
for
was
breakfast?
she was
"Oh, not
putting
just
down
yet."
food
then-
and like pushing it at me, and at one point Daniel comes and he says to me, he's like, What's wrong, Curran? Why don't you want to eat? My wife is very upset. She's mad that you're not eating the food. I'm like, and I tried to explain. He's like, no. This is Poland. You have to. When my wife brings you food, you
when
must.
we
eat the
drink,
food.
we drink. When we eat, and that is like all the time. And you're like, oh my God, yeah. But it is that amazing thing, that there's so much amazing food, and it's that generosity
The generosity, the spirit of generosity that everywhere here is always just.
Hospitality,
yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing, yeah. And we're so grateful for that, yeah. So it is appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Don't forget the new hit album. I just want to say that again.
Okay, so let's guys tell me something about the difference between Venom and Venom Inc. Maybe a lot of people, confused.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, Venom,
Yeah.
the original Venom, Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, they got as far as Possessed, and then Mantis left. And my participation was that we were all from the same town, and we all were in bands at the same time, very young guys in bands. They, by default or accident, got to make a record, and we were all like, oh my God, we don't make records, you're making a record. So it was a very exciting time for us, and I love what they did, and I was there throughout that whole time. We were all friends. My band signed to the same label. It was a local label, so our association goes back. Girlfriends knew each other, and we hung out, went to the same bars. And then towards it, Mantis left in '86, around Possessed. After they did Possessed, Mantis left the band. And then in about '88, '87, Kronos left the band. And then Abaddon called me and said, listen, I think we lost our way. Would you come in and help write another album? So I was like, yeah, sure. They were my friends. So I didn't want a world where Venom didn't exist, because I think we need a Venom in the world.
Yeah.
We need that counterpoint to the commercial side of it. And, that's what extreme music is. It's made up of individuals with a voice. We're the people who stand up to a government and go, why? And they don't want you to ask why, they just want you to do. But we're all the people who go, yeah, but why? Justify what you're asking, and maybe I'll consider it. So I went into the band to kind of re-bring them back to where they were, because they lost their way. War with Satan was weaker than black metal, Possessed was weaker than War with Satan, Calm Before the Sun was weaker than that, and I think they just lost their way with the spirit of the whole thing from the original two albums. So, we did Primeval, I wrote that to kind of get that spirit back. Spent about 10 years or so touring and recording, and then they got back together for a brief period of time. Then they exploded again, because they're like a really bad relationship. It just doesn't work, but you keep coming back to it. And then Kronos carried on with Venom, which he has now, and still does, which I think is amazing. Myself and Mantis kept working together all the time, and then Oliver Weishammer in Germany does a festival called Keep It True, and he saw me do a concert. I got Mantis on stage to play a couple of songs, and he said, what if I booked you and maybe Abaddon could come and you could play some songs? And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? That's never going to happen. He said, but you can make it happen. So after a period of time, I made it happen. And from then on, Venom Inc was born. And so it isn't, we aren't a cover band. We aren't just like, we play songs. If we play classic songs, they're songs that fans ask for. But we have two albums. I have a whole series of Venom albums where I wrote, so I'm only playing songs that I wrote, and then the Venom Inc stuff, which also wrote or part wrote with Mantis. But if a fan wants to hear a classic song, then I play it. Now, if you're a 56-year-old man with a plastic bag with your original album in, you might be, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. But if you're a 16 or 17-year-old guy or girl who's been listening to that music, and this is your opportunity to experience it, then I have a duty to play it for you. And they don't care about whether you're this guy or that guy. They just want to hear the music. Because when you're in your bedroom listening to that Celine Dion or Napalm Death, the band aren't there with you. It's just the music. Yeah. So I think, certainly for myself, but for us, it's about playing that music with the actual intent, so that it communicates with those kids. And when they want to hear Bloodlust, it should sound like Bloodlust. They should feel it's Bloodlust. And if you can make a 16 or 17-year-old kid go, oh my God, that's like the song, then that's our job. So with all the songs, we play them because the fans pick them. Kronos decides how he plays his songs and what he wants to play. And I with all the material, I don't. What would you like to hear? If you could play this song or that, Witching Hour, I go, okay. And we play it because it means something to them. When you write a song, it's your song. And when you take it to your band, it's your song. But once you release it, it's their song.
Yeah.
You don't own that song anymore because it's changed someone's life. And when they go, if you could just play that, you know, like someone said to me in Germany, could you play Angel Dust? This tattoo here was for my brother. He died taking Angel Dust, and I got this tattoo. That song means so much. So what am I supposed to say? I can't play Angel Dust because I didn't do that originally, and there's some guy in his underpants in a basement somewhere in America going, you shouldn't be doing that because you're not Kronos. It's like, oh, fuck that. This guy wants to hear it, and he connects to the song. So that's what Venom Inc. is. Not Venom, they're Venom, we're Venom Inc. And we incorporate all of the music from our history, everything that's important to us as fans, to you as fans, and that's why we're here. So if there's something that burns you, go, I never thought I'd ever hear this song in my life, then tell me, and you fucking will.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a couple of very key differences between Venom Inc. and Venom is that it's all different band members. So we're Venom Inc. and then there's 3 different guys in Venom. But then the other thing to remember is that, you know, Demolition Man wrote 3 records of Venom and was playing classic Venom while being in Venom. And then that went away, and then this whole Venom Incorporated, where you have Mantis and Abaddon and Demolition Man, and then Abaddon goes away, and then they bring in Jackson, and then, you know, Mantis had his second heart attack and decided, I can't play anymore. Well, what's the difference between if Mantis is there playing those songs that a 56-year-old metal fan, Venom fan, wants to hear, he never gets to hear those again, or a 16-year-old that has just discovered Venom,
and of course
they never get to hear these songs again? What's the difference?
I went to see Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Stevie Ray Vaughan played a whole set of Hendrix. Yeah, Hendrix was dead. Yeah. But Stevie Ray Vaughan was playing Hendrix. So do I go, well, you're not Hendrix, so I'm not going to go and not listen to it. He still played it with some kind of emotional connection, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and I think that's the key thing.
And actually with Stevie Ray Vaughan, I remember seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan and he started to play Jimi Hendrix. I got mad because I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, no one can play Jimi Hendrix. And then he's playing, I'm like, well, maybe that guy can play Jimi Hendrix. Because he did it with such purity and such honesty.
Honesty, yeah.
And so, you know, for me, as, you know, coming in and being the new guitar player for Venom Inc., because Mantis retired, it's not about me replacing Mantis. It's about me honoring his legacy and his legend.
The music
and
legacy,
these songs are so important to people, and they're important to me.
Yeah.
They're important to Venom Inc.
That's why we do them.
That's why we play them. That's why we play them. And then we also get to play all those incredible Demolition Man era Venom songs from Temples of Ice, Wastelands, that maybe have never been played. That Kronos will never play. That Venom will never play.
Of course.
And now also 2 new records, Ave and There's Only Black, and, you know, more to come.
But that's also a thing, you know, from fans. Just before you wrap up, I know you're going to tell me to show, but I can't. But the thing is that you know, it's when people. Do I understand you want to see the originals? Yes. Do I understand you want to see those individuals? Of course. You know, I wish Lemmy was still alive and Eddie and Phil was still alive, because when I saw them, every time I saw them was like, they changed my life. So of course I want that. But if you go to your parents and say, is that the same fridge you had when I was 6? They're going to go, no. Like, things don't last forever.
Yeah.
Things don't last forever. Neither do people. That's why you don't have your grandparents, or maybe you have lost your parents, and because things don't last forever, because we become those people, and we won't last forever. So, as much as we want that, but the music lasts forever. When did Elvis die? When did Jimi Hendrix die? You know, how many of the Beatles are left? But I can go listen to their music like now. So it still lasts beyond us, you know. So that's the connection, and it's a connection that keeps creating a new audience. because someone who's 3 now will grow up to be 15 and maybe pick up a Venom record and go, oh my God, and it might change their life. And where do they go to hear that? Where do they go if nobody's doing it? So hopefully someone will be doing it. They'll always be able to go somewhere to feel what you feel or I feel or they feel. You know, we have to keep that spirit going. And that's the whole idea of the music thing. You know, long, you know, when Ozzy goes, you'll still have Black Sabbath. You'll still have Ozzy's music. And it would still make you feel great. And hopefully, you know, Zakk Wylde's out doing the Sabbath thing. Why? Well, he's not Black Sabbath. What's going on? But everybody goes and loves it, blows their mind because they're getting to listen to these great songs. So I want that to continue. And that's why we're here. We're not opposing. We're not in competition with Kronos or Venom or anything else. We're just here to celebrate what we loved and what inspires us to keep doing it.
So we have to, and I'm so sorry because I can't talk to you for very long hours.
No, that was wonderful.
Exhausting, isn't it?
We've got so much more to say, but that was absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
You know what I love about this though? Like you can't see your legs.
No, I don't have legs.
It's like a hand puppet.
Yeah, I am. There's a guy down here with his hand up my arse doing that. Yeah, that was so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you
thank
so
you
much.
everybody.
I hope we'll see one day again.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are the nicest band in the world, I have to say.
Wow.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
People keep telling us that. We might start believing it. Oh,
you
no.
have to. Start believing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say something bad, but I won't. Anyway.
No, thank you
You
for
keep
watching.
leaving your socks everywhere on the
I lost
bus.
my banana.
And leave a comment below. Thank you so much.
See you soon. See you soon.